Anything else you want to share on prep?
I've talked about this before, but stepping the text, it's one of the fastest ways that I've learned to get the words and the audition in my body.
Yeah.
What it is that you're just stepping on each word of each line. So that way it kind of sounds robotic when you first start doing it. But once you start playing around with it and playing around with steps, like you can hop from one place to another depending on the thoughts. It does help you shape out where the thoughts are in the scene.
Right.
Um, and it's one of the best techniques. I learned it at university when I was doing my conservatory program at the University of Windsor. And it's one thing that I have stuck with, and I do every time I get an audition or I have a scene that I'm working on or a monologue, whatever. I do that every single time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
For those watching on Facebook right now, make sure if you have any audition prep questions
Yeah.
or something that we're missing, if you got a tip, technique, something that's works for you, please share that. Another thing that we're taught as well, and Tom often mentions this in class, is textual improvisation. You should be able to reiterate and rephrase and improvise your whole scene if you know it inside out, backwards and forwards. And that's where I think a lot of actors get stuck. And that's also where a lot of the fear, especially if you think of a stage production in amateurs, when someone's on stage and they get the deer in the headlights where they don't know their next line, it's because in their brain they're just thinking line and then his line and my line, and they're thinking, what's my next line, what's my next line, what's my next line, instead of what the fuck is happening in this scene, what is even going on, how does the scene start, how does the scene end, what's the gist of the middle. And that's really the more important part than verbatim what is my next line. So being able to improvise a whole scene is a good proof that you know what is actually going on. And I've
Yeah.
done a lot of stage productions where improv was, these were dinner theater shows where a lot of improv was allowed, so there was the script, but it's only the people that are thinking, what's my next line, what's my next line, what's my next line, that run into trouble. The actors who are like, oh, this is the scene where I got to get in here and we get in a fight, and at the end of the fight I take the thing from them and then I exit out that door. So you know you're in, you know you're out, you know why you're there and what you're fighting for, and you know your relationship to the other person. So if you ever did get hung up on one line and you blank on a line, you know what's supposed to be happening, what is actually going on in the scene. And that's more true to life, because in life it's very rare that you're in a situation in your life where you stand there and you're like, uh, I don't know what my next line is. What am I supposed to say here? It doesn't happen. But if you know why you're there and who you're talking to and what you wanted in that moment from them or from the scene, you're never gonna you're never gonna run into that. It makes no sense that you would be like, I don't know what my next line is, unless you don't know who you're talking to and why you're there and what you want in life, which is a problem. If you if in life or in your acting world you don't know why you're there and what you're doing and who you're talking to, guideposts 1 and 2, relationship and conflict, who are you speaking to and what do you want. um, Again, that's it'd be a big reason for life failure is, well, no wonder you didn't succeed, you didn't know what you wanted or why you were there in the first place and what you were fighting for. So
Mhm.
it doesn't make any